how life was 40 years ago. Rare cell phones, no personal computers, and definitely no laptops. Because of this, there was a limited communication, not only between the other countries, but also between people from the same country. Instead of sending emails that could only take a few seconds to receive, letters were sent and received within a few days or weeks. From another angle, foods from the other countries were spread out easily like now, but one didn't go out to a restaurant to buy sushi or any other foods from the other countries. Well, ladies and gentlemen, but this all changed because of globalization, which leads to the question, what is globalization, ladies and gentlemen? Globalization is a process of growing and expanding to exist throughout the entire world, describing the state humanity is in right now. It is not simply an economical state. It affects our whole life too. It means that we are all interconnected, like our body cells in the same body. It is a state we derive through our evolution, and it is a state that we cannot escape. Well, ladies and gentlemen, besides creating similarities between young people and making a less racist world, it can also make less popular cultures extinct. Our cultural legacy will lose so much that we will lose a part of ourselves. And what some maybe haven't noticed yet is its globalized way of speaking or interacting or in the other words communicating has already revolutionized forever. Some of the teenagers these days has already preferred to be someone else to cover their identity. And ladies and gentlemen, these are the negative impacts of globalization. Well, ladies and gentlemen, one question that should be asked is whether is it true that globalization is the cause of its negative impacts, or is it because of our unpreparedness on implementing and selecting it? Young people have a mental attitude that is still classified as unstable because of the immaturity of their thinking. Many will only try something new without knowing the positive or negative impacts of it. Teenagers are the nation's future, our nation's future. If a nation doesn't have a teenager with an attitude, then the nation's progress will not be achieved. Education is important for the mental formation. If education doesn't successful, then the result is the decline of a nation. Well, ladies and gentlemen, therefore, to keep adaptive and progressive in the middle of globalization, young people should make preparations facing this. Number one is know yourself. Knowing who we are is important, so we'll be able to provide addiction and choosing attitudes towards some certain issues. And number two, reject absolutism. Thinking that our principle is the most correct will only against us to keep learning. And in number three, keep tolerance. The era of globalization is so full of ambiguity on who is the most right. But with tolerance, we could still interact with each other so we can remain progressive. And in number four, ladies and gentlemen, the last but not the least, is endless learning. Change is the essence of globalization. The ability to deal with it depends on us and how much our ability continues to learn. Learn from the past and others, learn from interactions, and also be critical. With so many changes, we'll continue to keep learning. Well, ladies and gentlemen, in fact, globalization cannot be avoided, whether we're ready or not. We still need to accept it and face it. The good thing is, countries can take the advantages of globalization in terms that the country can take the ability to handle the globalization. Should keep in mind that the process of self-improvement is the key to face globalization safely. If young people can't adapt properly, then the young generation will turn backward and will finally knocked out social global. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that we, as today's children and future adults, must embrace the world and all that it has to offer, while not losing our identity. So we need to understand that we all depend on each other. We need to adjust our attitudes and start caring and working for the benefit of the whole. In such global systems, the individual can have a good life if the whole system is healthy and functioning well. Well, in the end, we are the generation that will make important decisions without forgetting our heritage. Well, that's all the speech that I can deliver to you today. Thank you for all of your attention. Finally, I say wassalamu